Hey all, and welcome back to Dentist Speed Shop and the second part of the Phil Burke's Bullet Bus vlog that we're doing. So today I'm going to focus on doing my method on how I'm going to do these bullet holes, how I do the dents, as I said I was going to show you last video. So first things first is we need to figure out a piece that's going to go in here, because we need to cover up all these, and as I said, I've left these open so I can gain access for some of the main bits, which will be this. So what I'll do is I'll come along with the verniers and just take this measurement exactly in between the roof line, guttering just below that, and the top of what would be like the swage line, the body line, to work out exactly what we need front and back, which I know is 40 mil. So what I'll do then is I'll transfer that to a piece of cardboard here. Let's get this out of the way. So what I'll do is I just transfer that onto here, from the edge to there, the edge to there, draw that straight line. All this is just a simple piece of Amazon delivery box. So do that, line it all up, get a nice square edge on it, and then you have a piece like this. There we go. That will then, remember this is purely just a template. That will then just line over the top of that, like so. Then I can transfer that onto what we're going to use is some white plasticard. Here we are, let's have a look. So I use different various, probably not the best thing to do that. Do different varying thicknesses. This one's quite a stiff one for some of the engine bay work, etc. for the body. And this one will be a piece along the side of the body. So what I'll do is I'll transfer that onto there, and then cut that out, and then we'll bond that then into here. But first I'm going to show you how I do some of the aging, weathering and dent techniques on the body. So I think first things first is the dents. So that's obviously a major part of them, is to how I try to replicate exactly the dent that each of the buses I do, each of the replicas I do has got. So I've taken a piece of the actual plastic card, sorry, a piece of the body off, just here. Then remember to take this film off. So let's just draw on a bit with a Sharpie or one of these pens. Let's do a dent that we actually want to replicate. I don't know, something like this. A dent patch like that. So with a slightly deeper crease line maybe here. So what I use is one of these little Dremel blowtorch. Sorry, it's like a soldering iron and a blowtorch. It's got a tiny little hole in the end there, so get it to light. See, it's starting to go orange in the end there. Hopefully you might be able to see that. Once that's started to heat up and glow bright orange, what I'm going to do is just start to warm through. Here you can see it straight away, look. Warm through the area we want to drop. So look, don't go overkill. Try and just keep that just on that one line. And where that swage line is, where we said we're going to get quite a bit of a drop in the middle, all I'd do is come along with even the top of this, look. We'll just then just put a crease in it. Fingers either side, careful because it is really hot. There you go, look. We've already got that dent that you need. Hope that picks up on camera okay. Can't really tell if it's going to or not. But I did do one earlier just to show you. Put a bit of paint on it, rubbed it back so you can see how here I've got the two deeper dents in the side here. How that hopefully picks up on there. And what I'll do is I'll then put in rust colour inside here, or the body filler, or the body primer colour. Then I'll fill this in with, actually I'll show that later on, but a blue tack. When I'm doing the Phil's bus and doing some of the chips and dents and scrapes on it, I'll show that a bit in depth. all I'm going to do is just fill this with blue tack once I've got the base colour in it, and then spray it and then peel that blue tack off, and it's a fantastic paint mask. So there you go, look. What we can do is just get rid of that pen around there. Little squirt of, I use this label adhesive remover to get rid of all that pen marks in there. Okay, this is one that's got cooked into it. So there we go, a bit more. Don't be so shy. There we go. Got rid of a bit of it. So let's get a bit of white or something behind it. Let's get this cardboard here. Look. There we go. It might help show it up a bit better. Got dents in there. So that's one method. So now the bullet holes. So I thought long and hard about this. Do I drill them? No. Too regimented. Too clean. So how am I going to go about putting bullet holes in to match Phil's bus? So just these simple ones like this, really. And then this is fairly easy because that's just I drill a hole and scab up the edges. But here we go. I don't know if that shows up very well on the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away this one just for now, so that you get that darkness showing up behind it. I hope that shows up quite well on camera. But what I've used is a soldering iron. So what I'm going to do is live again, as I've just done the other one with the heat gun, is we flip it over, and what I'm wanting to do is when I press it in, can you see this here? Yeah, when I press in the soldering iron, I'm wanting it to just go in and then draw the plastic back out. So look, just melt and then pull that plastic back out. So it hasn't quite gone through, so we go again. Just enough just to pull that plastic. So I want that dent in there. I want it to look like it's an actual bullet hole. There we go, look. And then when we go back to doing the paint, I'll paint the whole thing in the primer colour. And then around each of the holes, we know that it's going to have paint chipped off. Like in his actual bus, looking at the pictures, geeking out. So you can see where it's shot it, it's just gone back to bare metal, or it's gone back to the primer colour on some of them, here and here. So what we'll do is we'll paint over the main bit in the primer, then put the main colour on, and then literally just get a small little bit of wet and dry, or even a drill bit, just turn it in there. It gives you that depth in each one of these holes. I know it's going to take a long time, but I think it's going to give it the actual look it needs and deserves. And then obviously for the larger holes, or some big bullet holes, or you could go all the way into that, and then look, watch this, just slowly pull that back out. There we go, it just gives that dented, worn look around it. So that's how I'm going to get on with those. So what other things does Phil's bus need? Well, it's not a standard across all the TAMIYA kits. So this one is actually a slightly later split screen with the oval rear lights. So on this one, what we're going to have to do is delete these rear lights and then fill over those. Then it's also got the smaller rear window, so I'm going to cut that section out of here, plastic card over it again. I've already spoken about the plastic card. I'm going to get this, I'm going to cover it all over, then build in a new smaller rear window. And then these corners, I'm literally going to make another mask with some cardboard, as we did, or paper. I'll come here, literally just get this, come round, put that round here, take that as a mask, or layer it over with masking tape. And then you can take a mask, transfer that onto a piece of cardboard, or straight onto the plastic card. And then we'll put in all these corners here. Now, the hardest part I think is going to be is to get this roof and these skylights deleted. So that's almost going to be the same method as I do for the measuring ups. So we're going to get another piece of this this cardboard, just trim it out quickly without taking my fingers out in the process. I think we'll just gently roll this over this pen just to get a curved edge. My thoughts are that if I layer this from the back with some plastic card in there, like that, and then I'm going to sand these down here because it's all flush at the back, and then I'll delete those and then put some fine body filler in to remove it. Obviously I'll get this cardboard cut down so it just goes along where the ragtop is. And then for the ragtop removal, a two-stage thing I think is heat it and just compress it back down. I think if we get some heat into it, I think it will start to drop. Should we give it a go? So it goes. So you see it's got this ridge line just here. I think if we actually start to heat that up, try again, get this heating up. Obviously we've got the plastic film on this still, so that's probably going to burn off first. I think if we heat this up, so let's just use that. Remove that plastic film. I don't want it to melt into the actual plastic of the body. That would be a bad day. So let's remove that. Let's just try it. So nobody can say this is mocked up, this is fake, you haven't done that, because this is literally live as we go in. Look. There we go, look. Just heat that up along that ridge line. And this is quite thick at the top, so it's going to take quite a bit of heat just to get through it. So all I want to do is just allow that plastic just to relax from where it was vac formed. There we go, it's starting to get some heat into it. Sorry if this is a bit boring, but this is the slower process of doing it. So let's just see how we're starting to see. That's not even compressing at all yet, so we need to get a bit more heat into it. I don't really want to rush this process because, as I'm sure of you know, these bloody shawls aren't cheap. So there we go, I can actually watch that. Well, look, it's that line there. That's actually relaxing into the body line, look. I watch that plastic just starting to sink back into its natural state. So what I'm going to try and do is get this for the next video. I'm going to have all those side panels in. I'm going to pre-drill all the holes, or solder all the holes into it, get it ready for some paint, and I shall show you the next stage of how I'm going to make the bullet holes look realistic, making that rear window, and then I shall just keep flattening this out. Let's turn that off quick before we put a hole in the side of the bus. And then what I'll do is, that's there, just press this down, and then just do the same as I'm going to do with the side windows then, just cover it under and give it, and then sand it back down. Put a piece of plastic card underneath it and sand it all back down. So yeah, I think if there's anything else you guys want to know, I think that's it. Really, it's just going to be a case of cutting loads of plastic card out now and getting the bus ready for the dents there. So that's what we got on there for those. Then the other side there, so sorry, the same side but showing it further back. We've got all these dents just here, these bullet holes. The front's got a load of bullet holes. It's got quite dented up here on the bumper we're going to have to do. So then we're going to make some safari pop-out windows, the same as on my actual bus here. Showed it before. Got some pop-outs there. We've got a dash. This is a dash I actually had to build from scratch, but obviously got that 3D printed dash I showed you before. So yeah, we're going to get cracked on, making it look a proper realistic, getting it made into a panel van. So the next time you see this beastie, we'll have all the dents in the side, dents up here, and then we'll have the inlays here with the bullet holes in it. And we'll start, I'll do one side of this to show you what I've done, and we'll compare it to the other side so that you can give a bit of a comparison and show you what I'm going to do then, what I've learned. I can pass it on to you guys, how we go about doing the next stages, because I don't want to ruin this, really just rushing it on camera. I think it's worthwhile just going away, getting it done properly. I can come back and show you the techniques that I'm going to use for it. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up on that one. So give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Yeah, please guys, it's so easy. I know everybody else says it on YouTube, but please subscribe because it just makes it so much better. So in the long term I can do more videos,